One more thing about the water animation. So here, I got back in the car.
So I have a question. What do you think they're doing with the water? How do you think they're doing that? Are they simulating how the water is behaving, or what do you think they're doing? What'd you say? I heard somebody mumble something.
It doesn't seem like realistic water.
If you look at it, it's all hacked. Okay, it's not really water there. All they have is they have polygons, and they map something that looks like water spray on top of it, and they're very clever at how they position these water polygons with respect to your camera. So one thing they can do is they can make things be transparent. So they'll make it kind of a water spray that's mainly transparent. They position very carefully. So they're actually not using the physics of water here to actually simulate it. Now, on the other hand, there's a game that I've seen that's fairly new. What was the underwater game? The one that used in the underwater city? What was that?
Oh, BioShock.
Yeah, BioShock. They have some scenes in there where I think they're actually doing some non-trivial fluid simulation. I mean, one of the things, I think most of you know this, is that some things are easy to simulate. Fluids are hard. They're nonlinear equations. When you try to discretize them, you can't use linear algebra to actually simulate the thing that comes out. And so fluids are typically kind of one of the last frontiers. Why would you want to do fluids? I'll give you an example. Say you want to do smoke. How do you do smoke? Well, smoke's basically a fluid at the end of the day. It's a gas. You've got to go through and use some version of Navier stoves on it. If you want to do a giant explosion, maybe you work for the government, you want to simulate a nuclear weapon. So again, physics is fairly important, especially the ability to kind of discretize and simulate physics.
I have a Mac. Does anyone happen to have one of the Mac goggles? I think I forgot. So we're going to show. So we're saying how. Yeah, we
can. Want to let Travis play Portal while you try to figure it out?
Yeah. Oh, you have a dongle? This is the kind of. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. So it turns out simulating real physics is obviously very hard. But there's been this drive to use some of the prowess of gamers to actually solve real physics problems. And when he comes back, I'm going to show you this game Folded, which actually gives players a chance to fold real proteins. Oh, yeah, this will work. No, I need a MacBook one. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead. Well, we could just show Portal.
Are you addicted to
Me? Or?
Well, I'm sitting here right now and I'm trying to update my World of Warcraft client, and I'll log on and want to see World of Warcraft. So World of Warcraft is there's crack cocaine, there's methamphetamines, and then there's World of Warcraft. So just, if you've never played it, don't play it. My family, at one point we had 3 accounts active, now we have 2. So my middle son has played it a tremendous amount. My older son's burned out a little bit. I kind of don't have time to play as much as I used to, but yeah, I have an addictive personality, and I can get addicted to video games. A terrible thing happened. I played a real-time chess game for many years, and they actually shut the site down, and it was like I guess a smoker kind of like losing nicotine. I mean, you get kind of irritable and jumpy. But it's the thing that games are entertainment at the end of the day. They provide a relief from stress. They kind of take you off to a different area. But yeah, it's the case that I play lots of games, and I tell my wife this. I'll give you get married and someday you need to learn strategies for how to convince your wife things are good for you. So one of the things is she talked a lot about playing World of Warcraft, and I made this point that my son's 14, my other son's 11. I said, look, they're at home with us playing video games on the web, but they could be out at the mall. They could be over at a friend's house, smoking pot, doing whatever middle schoolers do. I'm afraid to even find out. But what I'm getting at is that in the overall scheme of things, being at home playing video games with their dad is not the worst thing that could happen. So she actually took that excuse and kind of lit off on us a little bit. But yes, I'm addicted.
I will say that games were one of the main reasons why I decided to do physics. And the reason for that is that games give you this idea that the world around you, everything you experience, has a certain logic behind it. And it's up to you just to figure out what that logic is and to manipulate that to your advantage. And there's not really any other environment that gives you that kind of feedback system. So let's see. So we're going to show Portal here. This is on the right. This is a game developed originally by students at Digital.
Now that you are in control of both portals, this next test could take a very, very long time. If you become lightheaded from thirst, feel free to pass out. An incubation associate will be dispatched to revive you with peptic salve and adrenaline.
So the point of this game is to manipulate the world around you with portals. And if anyone saw the lecture by, what's his last name? Anyway, he came to talk about black holes, but he said, imagine what the world would be like with portals. Well, this is what the world would be like. So I just walked through that bottom one that came out the top.
So let me give you a little background here to help you understand. So this is a game in which you're in kind of an environment, it's a sequence of rooms. You roughly obey physics, but you can't solve all the challenges unless you use the laws of physics to help manipulate your environment. So your main way of manipulating it is you have a gun, and the gun can drill holes in the wall. The interesting thing about the hole is the hole doesn't open to the other side. It opens to a second hole that you can drill with the second charge from the gun somewhere else in the environment. So imagine if I put a window in this wall and I look out and see the academic quad. So the puzzle is to essentially try to drill holes that connect up, think wormhole here, that allow you to navigate through the environment in a way to achieve some objective. For example, to get from one place in the environment to another. How could this be interesting? Well, for example, you could imagine that if I drilled a hole in that wall and opened out here, if I ran through it and jumped, well, I would have some velocity that then I would actually take going out and coming out on this side, and for example, landing on a trampoline that might allow me to bounce further than if I just jumped out the window on this side. So he's actually drilling holes here. So notice the red and the blue actually connect. So which one do you enter in? Your guy.
You can enter in either.
So if he goes through the red one, he'll come out the blue one. So if you notice, you can actually see through to where it connects through. And notice it does not connect through to what's on the other side. It connects through to where the orange is. Let me say it's not a shooting game. It's a puzzle game. That's the first thing that's kind of interesting about this. You're not based on reflexes in the sense of how fast you can twitch, for example, like Halo is. This is a puzzle game in which you have to understand the laws of physics and understand how to develop portals that allow you to achieve a goal. So for example, right now there's a box over there on that platform. So he's got to have to figure out how to get on that platform, I'm guessing. So what he's going to try to do is fall through that hole in the ceiling at the right time to land on the platform with the box. And he just did. So now he's got a little gun. That gun basically is a gravity gun. It can grab an object and pick it up and throw it around. Now he's going through and he's going to pick his little object up, carry it with him, and he's going to go drop it somewhere. So the goal is to drop it in some place. Now let me say a couple of words about Portal that are interesting from a physics point of view. So this is what's called a mod of Half-Life 2. So what people have started to realize is that physics is an important property in many, many games. So instead of trying to build your own physics engine for your particular game, people have discovered, wow, we should just build an engine that handles physics in a way that's independent of the game. It just does the simulation and we can plug it into an existing game. So this uses Havoc 2, which was basically a build-off of Havoc, kind of the first most successful open source physics engine. This uses Havoc 2, and it's essentially an engine that allows us to do all the real-time physics that you see here in this game. Oh.